Amazon optimization today isn't just about keywords. It's about creating a compelling narrative with your images, content, and product attributes. AI now plays a crucial role in reading and interpreting your images and text to rank your listings. If you can convince the algorithm that your product is valuable, you're also convincing the customer. It's about aligning both the technical and human aspects of the shopping experience to maximize visibility and conversion. That's a quote from John Tilley and a sneak peek at today's episode. Hi there, I'm Carrie Curran, Fractional Chief Growth Officer, Industry Analyst, and host of Revenue Boost, a marketing podcast, where we discuss smart strategies that drive your business growth. In this episode, titled Cracking the Amazon Algorithm, Strategies for Increased Visibility and Revenue, I'm joined by John Tilley. He's the founder and CEO of ZonGuru. John and I discuss cutting-edge strategies for cracking Amazon's ever-changing algorithm, leveraging AI for smarter listing optimization, and creating winning product narrative. John shares actionable insights to help brands boost visibility, conversions, and revenue. Stay tuned to the end where John shares tips for adapting Amazon's Rufus AI shopping assistant. Whether you're an established seller or just starting out, this episode is packed with tips to help you dominate the Amazon marketplace and grow your bottom line. Let's go. So welcome, John. Please tell us a bit about yourself, your expertise, and ZonGuru.
Hey, Carrie. Thanks. Appreciate being here. Yeah, we have a technology company in the Amazon space. So if you are a brand or an agency and you sell products on Amazon as a third-party software provider, you'd use our technology to help you operationally run that company and get more organic growth and profits. So that's us. We have over 18 different tools, but specifically we have a leadership area in Amazon SEO. So how do you structure your content on your storefront to maximize your organic growth and match with the algorithm and everything that's happening in that space. And we've been around since 2016. And yeah, that's us.
Excellent. And so share a bit about your own background and expertise.
Yeah, the accent's originally from South Africa. That's where I grew up and moved to Los Angeles here in the States in 2006. So I've been here for some time and an original career in advertising. So I worked at some of the kind of larger digital agencies globally, working on, it was about a 12, 15 year career, everything from below the line, through the line, integrated digital agencies, all the typical evolution of the agency world. And spent some time in Europe launching Burger King, Have It Your Way there, and moved over to Los Angeles and worked with some large brands here, and also got quite involved in kind of the enterprise application aspect of some of our clients, which was my first real touch into the kind of the technology world, the application development world. And then, I've always had that entrepreneurial bug. So back in 2013, I launched my own brands on Amazon, which did really well, and allowed me to exit the day gig into the 24-hour gig, or whatever we want to call it.
Yep.
And then in 2016, I did see the opportunity for a data play in the Amazon space as a third-party software provider, and launched ZonGuru. Amazon Guru is the idea behind it, and started that in 2016, bootstrapped as a founder for many years, and then went on to do a round raise in 2021. So kind of been through that whole process of bootstrap to raising, and also basically been in the industry for 8 to 10 years and navigated Amazon and all the changes that have happened in the space, which has been pretty vibey, to
Yeah.
say the least. Between it's been such a big industry, but also such a new industry, and
Hmm.
getting just developing as it goes, and how do you navigate that as a company? So, yeah, that's me.
Yeah, no, excellent. Thank you. And you're right. Like nothing has evolved as quickly as Amazon and e-commerce, retail media, and the opportunities there. I guess except for we've talked a lot about you're incorporating a lot of AI into your services, your tech today, and as you said, it's earlier, it's an AI first world these days. So talk a bit about kind of the more recent evolution you're seeing as far as how AI is being incorporated into marketing strategies, starting with Amazon, or the changes, the threats. Like, what's your perspective here?
Yeah, I mean, AI has been obviously very very interesting, and I think it's the epitome of being first to market, right?
Yeah.
And having kind of the first move on your competitors. In my space specifically, we have some extremely large competitors, and being the first one to move on something does give you an opportunity to differentiate. So that's the first thing I would say regarding AI, and I'll talk a little bit about what we did first in the space. I think the other side to counter that with is, as big of an industry that Amazon is, and such a juggernaut, and how well they've done with distribution. Behind the scenes, from a technology company, they actually are kind of backward. And therefore it lies opportunity to be a third party software provider for Amazon
Yep.
brands, because we can consume their data and visualize it in a better way than they can actually do it, right? So um, there's always that potential perceived threat from Amazon, like, hey, you're launching something new on your website that's AI driven, or something new on your back end to sellers that is AI driven, or new technology. And a lot of people will be fearful of that. And I think we've always seen that as a massive opportunity, because whenever they launch something new on their end, they provide more data, which just gives us an opportunity to take that data and do it better than
Hmm.
Amazon is doing, which isn't actually that hard, because Amazon usually generally get it wrong, right? I think they as an example, they just went up on stage at AMZ, I think it's AMZ Accelerate,
Yeah.
and announced their whole AI driven listing optimization product. And they showed how they could automatically optimize a listing, but they actually did it on I think they did it on a trademark term, aviators for
Oh
Ray-Ban,
yeah.
that they put into their title, and they got shot down by that. Like, they get it completely wrong, right? So there's always good opportunity to jump on the technology that's, as it's released and is cutting
Hmm.
edge. How do you then take that and do a better job with that,
Yeah.
because we believe we understand customers really well. So yeah, I think, going back to AI and how it's impacted our industry. I think the first thing was just acknowledging very early on, like, hey, when I think it was November of 2022, ChatGPT was being
Hmm.
launched, and or at least, people were starting to take notice of it, and so did we. And I think I fundamentally saw that as, like, hey, this is something that's going to not just change our industry, but it's changing consumer experience. And so
Yeah.
if something's going to change consumer experience, much like Amazon Prime one day delivery, right? It
Yeah.
completely changes people's a way that they behave in shopping capacity. Was something that we had to jump on. So we spent the whole of December 2022 integrating. We were one of the first on the API side with ChatGPT to integrate with that, and put it into our listings. And fundamentally, it took a process of kind of writing and creating your listings of an average of like an hour in time, to literally under a minute, right?
It's incredible.
And structurally to do it in a
Hmm.
baseline, in a way that was better structured for the algorithm, in a content way, as a baseline, in under a minute, right? So, and then the ability to then bring your expertise to it. So we took that to market first, and we're first movers there, and that was very successful for us. Um, but I think the theory thing, and you would appreciate this coming from the agency world, but we never approached this as like, hey, we're gonna use ChatGPT in our listings to replace what the brand owner or the agency was going to do with the listing, and just say, hey, this is what it is, and it's going to be better than you, and the human is not, or the expert is not needed in this process. What we recognized was this is a tool in a fundamental way that we can do things faster and structurally in a way that's better matched for the algorithm, right?
Yeah.
And give you that as a baseline. Instead of having a blank page, you have this baseline, and then give you more additional insights so you can use that and you can manually tweak and move the listing forward and bring that creativity of the human expert into that listing to have the final piece. So instead of investing your time in building the whole piece, invest your time in that true thing that's going to take a listing from 9 out of 10 to 11 out of 10. And so that was how we approached it.
No, that's excellent. And it's, first of all, I love that kind of cutting edge first mover opportunity that you saw and took, because I think that's going back to, you said, your entrepreneurial spirit. Like you've got, you saw it and moved down it, and it's, and it does make us smarter and more efficient and effective, to your point. And I appreciate, as you mentioned, like it's not out to cut the human creativity or the overarching brand presence or identity strategy, but makes us more effective and efficient by showing quickly, helping us learn what we need to tweak, what is the algorithm responding to. And so such a smart and better way to use our time in optimizing. And so talk a bit more about how you're using that for your clients.
In terms of the listing optimization side of it, or AI in general?
With Amazon as well.
Yeah. Look, I think if you look at Amazon, they've obviously embraced AI like the rest of the world has. And they do it in a number of ways. One is obviously attempting, in inverted commas, to give Amazon brands easier ways to create and automate things like listings, right? And then the other piece is obviously really investing that AI technology into their algorithm, right? And with their latest piece that they've launched lately, which is Amazon Rufus AI shopping assistant. So recognizing that the way that consumers in general research for products is fundamentally changed forever, and it's going to go more and more in that direction of having an AI intelligence that you can engage with and have a conversation with to find what you need, rather than you inputting everything yourself. And so they've launched that on their side. And so from our perspective with our clients, it's trying to better understand the intricacies of Amazon's AI intelligence, and what is that black box, and how do we fundamentally connect better with AI on the algorithm side, so that we can give more visibility to listings and content and creative. So that's kind of like one area that we've really, really doubled down on. And we also are now claiming to be the first Rufus optimized listing creation company as well, right? So we have a pretty deep understanding of like, what is Rufus from a shopping assistant perspective looking for in listings that is different to the typical keyword kind of connection that was in place before, and then how do you make sure that your listing covers that as well, right? And so that's a big area of focus that we look at, and it's pretty interesting to see the results from that.
This episode of Revenue Boost, a marketing podcast, is brought to you by Kriglu. Want to boost customer acquisition while saving time and money? Meet Kriglu, an AI-powered omnichannel bid management platform designed to optimize your ad spend. Kriglu intelligently adjusts bids across channels, ensuring your ads reach the right audience at the lowest cost. Plus, with its automation, you'll free up valuable time to focus on your business. The result? Efficient, cost-effective growth, all while maximizing your marketing budget. Ready to scale smarter and faster? Visit Kriglu.com, Kriglo.com, and start saving today. Yeah, that's incredible. And I think kind of, unpacking the algorithm and understanding what's most important to it is really what's going to drive the success. So it's such an opportunity, as you pointed out, to use AI to get smarter there.
Yeah, and one of the practical things I think for anyone who's in the e-commerce side, right, whether you say it on Amazon or some of the other platforms, um, is this whole importance of like the narrative you tell with images, right?
Yeah.
It's been in the Amazon space for a while. Like, yes, you have content on a page, and that can help you. Historically, content was there to better match with what the algorithm was looking for, so you can rank better.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, to get the customer to read a little bit of that and hopefully help with the purchase. But fundamentally, images have been a really key driver of like how you actually
Yeah.
convert as a customer, right? While you
Yeah.
look at price, you look at images, and you look at ratings, and that's pretty much like 90% of what you're looking at to make the
Yeah.
purchase decision. But now we're in a position where you know AI is actually reading your images in that narrative and using that to help you rank and better understand your product, right? You can literally take an image and you can drop it into ChatGPT and you can say, hey, describe to me what you see in that image, right? And
Mm-hmm.
what does it see from the photographic visual perspective? But if you have text overlay in that, it's reading that. Do you have too much and you're confusing the AI? What is the second image after that? Like, how do you actually convince AI like, hey, this is a great product to buy from your images? And that's the same thing that humans would be doing. So we
Yeah.
build a lot of that into our function in terms of optimizing, not just like, hey, here's the content, but like, what does your image stack look like? What is the narrative that you're telling in that? How specific are you in those images? What benefits, product attributes, etc. do you include? AI is reading all of that and then helping you to rank and ascertain how you should be positioned in the marketplace, right? So that's like a big step that us as
Yeah.
brand
Getting like
owners
the
need to
understanding of
understand.
how the algorithm's reading your image and how you can improve it. And I think that's, to your point, that's so brilliant and important, because the shopper, they're making their choice in 3 seconds less, scrolling through what's going to catch your eye. So it's such a good point. And again, it also like ties back to, but you still need that human creative, presenting the image first and making the changes, but incorporating the kind of AI perspective, making it
Yeah, and
better.
putting it in agency terms, it's AI is helping you to, on an analysis side, it's fundamentally helping you to write a much stronger strategy
Yeah.
creative brief
Mm-hmm.
that you can then take those insights and apply it in a smarter way um, to that process. But yeah, the other piece of AI is to practically to understand like how is the Amazon experience changing, right? And
Yeah.
and Amazon is traditionally a demand driven platform. You know what you want, you go in there, you search on a keyword, hey, I want an Instapot, you find it, you look at it, you assess it versus the other ones, and then you make a purchase decision. And that's now fundamentally changing. Rufus isn't there yet, and people kind of like downplay it a lot because it's not fantastic, but it's going to get better and better.
Yeah.
But you're now in that position where you like, hey, I'm not sleeping well. What are some products that will help aid me in my sleep?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's going to surface a bunch of different products, and then you can get more engaging with the AI. Hey, I wasn't really thinking about changing my whole room. I just wanted like appliances or
Right.
whatever, right? So, and then you're having this two-way conversation,
Yep.
and you know, AI as a shopping is surfacing products that you might not have actually thought of and not
Right.
had in your consideration sets already, and now they're popping in, and it may be convincing you that you should actually need this, right? And
Yeah.
then once you're convinced, you say, okay, great, I want it. What are 2, 3 examples, and it's giving you, and it's a completely separate shopping experience to the typical way that you would go on Amazon, and that's one use case, right? So,
Yeah. Yeah.
um,
So
trying
learning
to
to optimize to that then is such a critical aspect.
exactly, and understanding the longer tail use cases, the types of needs, product attributes that you want, you know, the AI
Mhm.
to associate your product with, so that
Right.
you can pop up when your product isn't even necessarily in the consideration set is
Yeah.
critical, right? Yeah.
And getting more customized, like to your point, like more granular of the specific customer need, just staying on the theme of sleeping or sleep aid. Just while I was having some insomnia and scrolling through yesterday, I saw a sleep aid that was like, you took a quiz. My point is, it was like, do you need help falling asleep? Do you need help staying asleep? Do you need to sleep longer? And to your point, like those are the things that AI is going to get smarter about. You're going to incorporate that into your product description to align with, or even use it for product development if there's trends on either side. So I love
Yes.
all aspects of the data. One other thing you talked about was that beyond Amazon, some of the AI impact on Google or search for ChatGPT and Perplexity. Do you want to kind of give your POV there as well?
Yeah, I mean, I think from a marketing perspective and an awareness perspective, you're constantly trying to figure out how to achieve more of that, right, in the marketing space. But we're seeing on our side, we're seeing a fundamental drop in organic traffic from Google per se. They're jumping onto that obviously with integrating AI into their search results page, but there's a shift which is happening, which is when people are researching, they're doing it in ChatGPT or they're doing it in something like a Perplexity. Customers are enjoying the fact that they are getting intelligent results back rather than sponsored results, right? Which is going to change, I'm sure. But and then understanding, okay, well, if there's a drop on Google, how are we now? How do you make sure that you appear for results and within ChatGPT, and what are the things that it's looking for, right? And what is it being trained on? And importantly, how one thing there is like certainly community conversations, right? If there's things happening in Reddit, we know it's using that as a training program or a language model, but the more there is community conversation, it's paying attention to that, right?
Yeah.
But that favors massive brands. It's not favoring the small guy. So how do you get into those conversations? We certainly haven't cracked the nuts on that front yet, but we're doing a lot of testing. Like, hey, how are we appearing for results on ChatGPT, and then where do we drive them, and how do we kind of understand this channel so that we don't lose traffic overall, and there's a different source that it's coming from. And Perplexity is jumping on that. I mean, and the other interesting part of Perplexity is they've now created their own shopping assistant.
Yeah.
So people are using the shopping assistant on Perplexity to get Google results, Amazon results, et cetera, that take you straight into the page. So what's happening on that side, and how informed is that user before they actually do they find your product? And if they do, how informed are they going to purchase it? That's a whole thing that we still have to understand, right? Yeah. So the game's changing for sure.
Yeah. And staying on top of those, I mean, I think for so long, whether you're optimizing organically for Google or Amazon, the goal was that you're optimizing for the shopper, the buyer, your end consumer first. However, it's that, navigate or mining those key points, hopefully using AI to get smarter, but then appealing to so many algorithms with the same piece of content when it comes to your website or other general. It's a challenge for sure. Is there like one kind of key like recommendation or way people can kind of try, or first step in trying to control or navigate that?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think I've started saying a lot more of this phrase, like, it used to be mobile first, but now it's AI first, right? And what does that mean? It's like, okay, well, how do you optimize for the algorithm? But that algorithm as an AI form is almost becoming humanistic, right? And it's going to become more and more like that. And so, yes, you have to optimize for conversion, but from a human perspective. But at the end of the day, if you can convince AI that you're a great product, you're probably convincing a human that you are as well. So it's kind of getting pretty overlapped in the future for sure. But in terms of one piece of advice there, I think I would say what I've tried to do within my company right now is make it more of an AI-driven company. So, how do we internally embed AI and get people to use it on a daily basis to improve their tasks and to just constantly use it? And
efficiency.
there's the aspects of efficiency, and that's fine. But what I'm trying to do is embed early on this idea of like, being a power user of AI, because if you do that, you then are going to bring those ideas into our product. That's going to end up in the consumers, our target audience's hands, right? So, making sure that if we're going to have AI integrated into our product, we should be using AI constantly internally within our company. And so just keep on pushing internally and creating that culture around it, I think is critical.
Yeah, definitely. Getting smarter on learning how to get it to give you the answers you need, and making that easier as well. Excellent. So John, this has been awesome and amazing. Can you tell everyone how they can find you and ZonGuru and learn more about your company as well?
Yeah, I mean, you can always check out zonguru.com, and you can engage with us there through our chats. There's a demo on there. There's a free trial. There's different ways of, if you are an e-commerce brand and you're curious about our product, you can certainly sign up and check that out. Or you can even connect with me, and we can do a free growth audit for you. You can get me on LinkedIn, or you can simply email me, john@zonguru.com. That's JON, no H, at zonguru.com. I'm more than happy to just say you're coming from Kerry's podcast, and I'll be more than happy to connect with you and help you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, John. Definitely will need to keep our eye on AI and the impact on the industry. And we'll have to have you back in 6 months and let us know how it's evolved even further. So thanks so much for your time.
Yeah, you'll be speaking to my avatar in intelligent form rather than me.
I won't even need to. Our avatars will speak to each other.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks. I hope you found this episode of Revenue Boost, a marketing podcast, as valuable as I did. John shared great tips on leveraging AI tools for Amazon's success. If you found this helpful, be sure to subscribe to Revenue Boost, a marketing podcast, for more expert advice on smarter marketing strategies. We can be found in all of the top podcast directories. Please connect with me, Kerry Curran, on LinkedIn or at revenuebasedmarketing.com, where I share more expert advice in past podcast episodes. If your revenue needs a boost, ask me about my consulting and fractional chief growth officer services. Thank you.